So I hope that this is working. I've never recorded on my OBS program before, so hopefully this works. Hello, always in progression. That is a perfect username for you, buddy. So I see, read your post. I myself am on the other side of the fence when it comes to my struggle with anxiety. Speaking of which, I actually should take my med. I haven't taken it today. I won, for sure. I was diagnosed in 2015. I immediately went on Flexa. And I did cognitive behavioral therapy for about 1.5 to 2 years. Totally works. Gives you the most important tool, which is called mindful awareness. And let me tell you something. I'm reading your post, and I feel like you may already have mindful awareness. I don't think you're going to struggle with this anxiety. I call it the bullshit, because that's what it is. It's bullshit. I don't think you're going to struggle with this for too long, dude. It looks like you got a head on your shoulders, and I wanted you to know that. That's why I decided to make a video response instead of just telling you, because text don't mean shit. It doesn't. But when someone takes the time, well, hopefully this is the way that you take it. I'm taking the time to actually record a video, to look at you, and say, dude, you're fine. Trust me. So here's what the post says. Here, let me take this real quick. When I was in college, I changed my major 6 times. I started with one major, changed my mind over and over again, and eventually ended up graduating with the major that I started with. The last girl I dated was amazing. We had such good times. When we began to face some adversity, I cut and ran. I felt I could do better, so I left her. That was 2 years ago, and I've struggled to deal with anxiety and depression that came about because of that stupid decision. Oh, well, anxiety and depression, the old left and right. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I currently have a great job. Do I make as money as I potentially could? No. That's a lot of jobs out there. Let me tell you. There's a lot of jobs out there. Is it 100% perfect all the time? No. I'll tell you, there's a lot of jobs out there. In fact, that's all of the jobs out there. But it's a good job, and it's one that gives me room to grow into a managerial role. Yet I have felt this need to leave and pursue something bigger somewhere else. Now that I have been living in a new city, I feel like I want to keep working there for good. What the hell is wrong with me? So far, I have to ask you, what the hell do you think is wrong with you? Because everything you just said sounds like someone that is trying his goddamn hardest to do the very best he can in life. You changed your major 6 times because, like you said later in your post, you deal with feeling sure of yourself. What did you say to this one person? It's the understanding myself and trusting myself that I have such a hard time with. Okay. You already know that. Okay? You changed your major 6 times, but you ended up graduating with the major that you started with. Dude, all you want to do, or do that, all you want to do is the very best that you can. And clearly, you weren't sure of yourself, and you know that. That is why you changed your majors. You're just unsure of yourself, that's all. You know how many probably billions, because there's 7.5 billion people out there. There's probably at least 1 billion people out there that are terribly unsure of themselves. That's a lot of people, right? So what the hell is wrong with you? No, literally nothing. Literally nothing. You're trying to do the very best that you can, but you've made decisions that are different than what other people have done, and you don't think that your decisions are maybe you don't think they're normal, so now you're clearly giving yourself a guilt trip. Stop. If you want to know if there's anything in the world that could possibly be wrong with you, the guilt trip. That. And let me tell you, having been on the other side, or having been on that in that war with anxiety, and now being on the other side, anxiety is a hell of a lot of guilt trips and feeling insecure and unsure of yourself. When you get to the other side of the fence, when you finally make it over there, you recognize, oh, I'm just giving myself a guilt trip right now. I need to quit my shit. And you stop being so insecure. And that really is the truth. At least, okay, let me back that up. That has been my experience. In my experience, I can't say that for everybody. But it was my experience, and it seems like it may be your experience as well, that, these are the... I'm making this video because I see you struggling in the same manner that I have struggled in. So you didn't know, it seems like you weren't sure of yourself figuring out exactly what you wanted to graduate with in college, but you came back around to what you signed up for, which is good because you were right in the beginning. You were just unsure of yourself, and you acted upon that unsurety, which is not a bad thing, because what if you were right? What if you signed up for something and you switched 5 times and then landed on the 6th and you're like, oh my god, this is exactly what I needed to do? Well, at least you tried, dude. You tried. And that's the most important thing, is to try. Because you cannot possibly ever succeed in life if you don't try. You can try and fail and try and fail and try and fail and try and fail. But you're still trying. And every time that you try and fail, you learn something. You grow a little bit. So don't ever be afraid of trying and failing, and then trying and failing, and trying and failing, and trying and failing, and trying and failing. Because let me tell you something, more people care about the fact that you keep trying than they do, oh, he keeps failing. Keep fucking trying, man. Keep trying. So what's wrong with you? Literally nothing. You are going through college, you're going through the work struggle that a lot of us, I'm 33, and I'm still kind of going through that work struggle. Every 20-something that's kind of getting serious about, providing for themselves and really, being in the workforce full time and then some, we're all going through that struggle. If you live in America, you know the struggle that I know. This economy stinks. So... dude, what's wrong with you? Your guilt trip. Why do I never feel satisfied with what I have? Because you have that burning passion in you to keep moving forward. That's not a bad thing. It means you constantly want to grow. It means you constantly want to evolve. And that's a really good thing. What the hell is wrong with you? You think that's a bad thing. Let's see. Why do I always feel the need to abandon what I've got in order to pursue these pipe dreams? Because you want to keep pushing further. How do I stop overthinking and worrying about every little decision? How do I commit myself to something without abandoning it down the road? First off, 1, stop giving yourself these goddamn guilt trips. 2, you have to sit down with yourself, because it already seems like you're mindfully aware of what you're doing. You already seem like... I would suggest cognitive behavioral therapy, but it will definitely help you. You're already on the path towards, getting better, for sure. What you've described, you're definitely getting better, for sure. You are not getting worse, you're getting better. The way that you worded it, I can tell the way you think about things, you're doing great. You're actually on the right path. But you think you're self-sabotaging, you're actually not. You're going to end up trying 100 million things in your life, and eventually you're going to find stuff that you like. You're going to get into situations that, on paper, they sounded fantastic, but then you actually get there and it's not nearly as good as you thought, and then you got to get out. Honestly, man, the only thing that is wrong about this thread, your guilt trip. Dude, you're solid. No, seriously, high five, dude. Seriously. You're solid, dude. You're busting your ass in college. You're busting your ass out in the workforce. You constantly want to push forward. But now you think that there's something wrong with you. You know what? Something just occurred to me. Maybe you are insecure because you have this idealized version of success in your head. and that maybe you don't feel as successful as you'd like to be or that you should be. You feel like you need to be up here, but maybe you're actually down here, or you feel like you're down here and you're frustrated because you're not here. Maybe that's what you're going through. And the reason why I say that is because I definitely went through that as well. I had to let it all go. I had to let it go. I had to develop a confidence in myself. I had to say, every time I get the opportunity, I work as hard as I possibly can. And that is the truth. I bust my ass as much as I possibly can to do the best I can. There are a lot of circumstances in life that are simply out of my control. Because I am diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder and depression, things may not be as easy for me as they may be for other people. That, as well, is out of my hands. What can I do about it? Continue to take my medication. Continue to be mindfully aware. Oh, I'm having a bad day? Get those proteins in you, start eating, start drinking a bunch of water, take a bunch of vitamins, and if you're sleepy, take a fucking nap. I learned to stop giving myself the guilt trip. I learned to stop being so damn hard on myself, and I learned to just take care of myself. To stop dealing with myself with so much angst. I turned that around and I said, wait. You've actually accomplished a lot in your life. You did a lot. And your ride has not been as easy as other people's rides. But you've done a lot. And you deserve to pat yourself on the back. Always in progression, you need to turn this around and just pat yourself on the back, man. Think about how hard it would be for anyone who joined college, right, and then has anxiety and depression. So you have all the social anxiety and all the social pressures and all that bullshit, right? Struggling with the mental issues, right? And then changing your major 6 times. And then you still ended up graduating, dude. Like, I don't think I could do that. I really honestly don't. Like, if I changed my major that many times, I probably wouldn't graduate. And honestly, there's probably a lot of people out there who don't have anxiety or depression, that do not suffer from any sort of mental health issues, that may not have been able to graduate. So, dude, pat yourself on the back. You fucking graduated, man. Fucking, dude, high five. Seriously, pow. You changed your shit 6 times and you still graduated. That's fucking dope. You had a girlfriend. It didn't work out. But hey, you know why it didn't work out. The mental health. That happens, dude. That definitely happens. I dated a girl. I moved down to be with her to run away from living here in New York. I ran away. I did. I ran away. And I lived with her for 8 months, and she was abusive, and I haven't been the same since. That happens. That's life. Things happen that we don't expect. And what we have to do with our life from there is to manage. Because that's what life is managing everything that life throws at us. That's the truth. You say you feel like you live in this self-sabotaging fashion. Anxiety, depression. You're right on that one. He thinks he self-sabotages. He hasn't figured that out yet, that he does. Can you believe that? He hasn't figured it out yet. You haven't figured it out yet. You do. You definitely self-sabotage. You self-sabotage because you have anxiety and depression. You don't have any faith in yourself and you're insecure. And I don't mean to say that in maybe in a mean or angry way. That's what anxiety is. It's deep-seated insecurity. You feel like you gotta push against the world, and a lot of us do. And for many of us, we only succeed when we stop pushing. For me, I only started to succeed when I stopped pushing. When I stopped pushing back. When I said, nope, this is who I am. This is who I am, and I can only work with this. I can't work with something else because I'm not that. I can't work to be that because I'm not that. I have to make the very best of this because that's literally all I can do. You say you feel sick to your stomach after dealing with this for so many years now. I clearly don't have a grip on my panic. I don't expect a magic bullet answer. I'm just frustrated, and this is my go-to outlet. You goddamn right you're frustrated. And you have every right to be. You have anxiety and depression. You have every right to be frustrated, man. Every right. Please, man. Stop giving yourself the guilt trip. Stop being so hard on yourself, man. That's one thing that my therapist said to me, and it seems like you do the same thing with this post. Dude, what the hell is wrong with you? Nothing, man. Stop giving yourself such a hard time. That's all it is, man. You say you feel like you're sick to your stomach. I do that too. I read it somewhere in an anxiety forum. Push your stomach out. Serious. Take your like your diaphragm. Push your stomach out. Somewhere we're taught to like tighten up our stomach, and I think people with anxiety, I've noticed a lot of us do that we tighten up our stomach. There is something in our stomach, and I forget what it was. I forget what it was, but it said that there's something in our stomach that is like, it helps us with our mindset just as much as like other things in our body. So our stomach actually helps our mind. When you feel anxious, push your stomach out and start to breathe. Because I'm actually doing it right now. That's why there's rain in the background. I'm actually anxious today. A drunk driver actually tried to run me off the road on purpose today. And instead of just pulling over and just letting them get a mile ahead of me and just not dealing with them, I engaged them. And I went after them. And that's the wrong thing to do. This person was doing these things and could not have been either clear-headed. This person could not have been clear-headed. So he's either mental health issues or he was drunk. He's using his car as almost a weapon. This person probably did not have auto insurance, which means that if we got into a car accident, there's no insurance that he's paying me for anything. That's not gonna happen. I'm up Shit's Creek without a paddle. I shouldn't have done that. But I'm forgiving myself. Because it did. It took me a second to realize, oh, this guy's drunk. Oh, this guy's miserable in his personal life. He doesn't give a shit about other people. Engaging in this guy is only gonna bring negative things on me. I got better things to do today. And it took me a few minutes for that to click. But it did click. It clicked. And that's the most important thing. That is the most important thing. I really hope that I didn't ramble too much. I hope that I hope that I'm making assumptions, but I have had frustrations that you have had. I hope that my assumptions were correct, that we are going through the same thing, that we're struggling along that same path. There's nothing wrong with you, man. You're diagnosed with anxiety and depression. If you want solid, concrete advice, you know what helped me? I got on meds. I started going to cognitive behavioral therapy, which gave me mindful awareness. And then that was the tool that helped me get through, and then it was just literally time. I got better and better with dealing with it. I figured out what helps me feel better. That's why you hear the rain. That is why you hear the rain in this right now. Because I'm not feeling so fantastic. But you do. You learn to manage it. And then your life just gets better and better and better, man. Stop giving yourself the guilt trips. That's all it is, man. Pat yourself in the back. You graduated college. Pat yourself in the back. You recognize what happened with your ex-girlfriend. From here, I mean, you said you got a good job. It's going to let you grow. You got a good head on your shoulders, man, for sure. just chill out with the guilt trips. That's all, man. That's all you gotta do. You got this, man, for sure.